If you own or you're thinking about owning a semi-automatic handgun, you're going to really want to watch this video. This might be something you already know, but a lot of people seem to have either neglected or just never really thought about this point that I'm going to be talking about. Why handguns jam, the most common reasons why, and the most common ways to fix them quickly on the range. I'm Jordy Buck, and this is Michigan Sharpshooters, helping you become well regulated, so together we can preserve our freedoms. Now, I've been talking with a lot of instructors lately about malfunctions, specifically with semi-automatic handguns. I want to know what most issues are from and what they generally do to fix them. I've got two main results from this. Take mine out, my carry pistol. Good old Glock 20. A little dusty, need oil. Now the top two issues. We're going to start with one which is called limp wristing. This is one a lot of people may know about, but your newer shooters generally don't know this. If you haven't been through a lot of courses and classes and instruction, you probably don't understand this principle. And that's okay. Let me help you out with that. Limp wristing is the term for having a loose wrist when you fire. The issue comes with when the gun pops too much as you're firing, which is limp wristing. If you're firing with a limp wrist, the gun pops, the energy that's supposed to be going kind of straight back through the slide to rack it back is now working on this arc. Your energy is working on an arc. You can lose half of the energy from this slide. Half of that energy can be lost if you fire and the gun jumps up. Pow, 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 like that. Because as you fire, the gun starts to cycle back. Well, it's going up like that too. That means that your energy is going in a semicircle instead of straight back. This is more something that we see in the beginner classes. And it's okay to realize that there's some things we have yet to learn. That's the whole point. So as you're firing, you want to make sure you have a stiff enough wrist. Make sure your hands are stiff enough. That's one of the things that we like about using two hands in the grip, is we can get a good firmer grip with two hands, kind of pushing with this one, kind of pulling with this one, squeezing in together to help that not to go up. But you need wrist stiffness. You need to stiffen this whole portion of your wrist quite a lot, especially with some of the faster shooting or sharper recoiling guns like the 10mm, so that when you shoot, instead of going and down again, it just kind of goes back more. That's what you need. Number two, the second most common reason guns jam is that they're dry. In other words, there's not oil or not enough oil on them. One of the instructors I talked to, his first response anytime a gun jams, anytime a semi-automatic pistol jams, is grab the oil, unload your pistol please, and hand it to me. Drop, drop, work it back and forth, and generally, in his experience, generally they're good to go. Rarely does he have anything beyond that. And it makes sense to me. There's a lot of friction force in the slide and rail systems in your semi-automatic handguns. Less in some firearms and more in some others. That's why some other guns, like some of the 1911s, and just quite a lot of guns really, a lot of the older designs, they need to be oiled more than something more like your Glocks tend to. And it's just because they have a lot more metal-to-metal surface contact with the older designs. All that means is keep it oiled. Keep it a little wet with oil. What you have here is, thank you, the slide has notches along the edges on the inside. Those notches slide along at least two different contact points, the front and the back. Sometimes they slide along a large portion of this lower piece of the gun here. And when they do that, that's when the guns become just a little bit more high maintenance. In other words, it's more important that they're oiled. All you've got to do is oil the contact points. On my Glock, there's just 2 little pieces of metal up here, 2 little pieces back here. Put a drop on each one, a drop on each one, rack the slide back and forth. It doesn't take generally but 2 to 4 drops of oil, and honestly 4 drops is even often more than you need. Get this put back together here. Now I say this is more of a beginner type issue, but honestly this is very much a I just forgot to think about it issue, especially for a lot of hunters or concealed carry guys. I had this issue myself once. I went and picked up my gun. I figured, you know, it's been a little while since I cleaned this gun. I need to oil it and make sure it's not too full of dust anywhere. This is my daily carry gun. Carry it every day on construction sites, so it gets dirty fast. Well, pop the magazine out, rack the slide back, and it stays back. I thought, oh my goodness, I must have pushed that slide lock. No, I didn't. It wasn't the slide lock. I gave it a push and it slid forward. Thought, what's up with this? Well, I take it apart and look. I had a little piece of rust on the back, and the slide was totally dry. So the gun wouldn't fire if I needed it to. That's kind of scary to me. But all I had to do was clean this little piece of rust off in the back and oil it. And the only reason it rusted was because it was dry. The oil had dried out, basically. And that happens. A lot of oils, especially in a very hot environment, tend to dry out. They get really viscous and runny, and they just kind of run off. They kind of wipe off on your clothes as you're carrying them, and before long they get pretty dry. Oil them before you take your gun to the range. I'm going to look at this one too, my wife's carry gun. Before you take your gun to the range, look at it, see if it looks like it needs any oil. All you got to do is put a drop, usually just 1 drop on each side of the slide where it contacts. Work it back and forth, maybe 10, 20 times. And it's good to go. That's as simple as that. Usually 2 drops of oil is all you need. Even on my Glock. Open it up. I'll put a drop right here, a drop right there in that slide groove. Get that oil moving around in there. Good to go. It's as simple as that, folks. So keep your wrists stiff when you're firing. Give your firearm enough wrist support so your wrists aren't snapping. And make sure that your gun is oiled. If at all you're noticing a little bit of too much maybe gritty feeling or too much noise, or the slide is a little bit harder to rack. If the slide isn't really smooth and easy when you pull it back, it is time to oil it. That's the one that really sneaks up on you. Your gun starts getting dried out, maybe it starts getting dirty too, which soaks up more oil. It gets a little dry. The slide is starting to slow down and you're starting to get a jam now and then. Don't get mad at the gun. It probably just needs to be oiled. And oiling is more important than cleaning. Cleaning's important, quite important, but that tends to be more of an issue leading to accuracy than it actually does reliability. Oiling is more important than cleaning your gun. But you should do both, okay? Well, thanks for watching Michigan Sharpshooters. I hope you found something useful in this video. Go ahead and click the like button. Look around for more cool videos. I hope that I can have a lot of content on this channel to help you guys out. Well, thanks for hanging around here, and have a good day. Bye now.